was an incredible day for Emilia Pérez, Netflix's sort of gonzo trans, you know, musical drama, whatever you want to call it. It's so many things. It got a sweeping 13 nominations, which was by far the most. And it was somewhat closely followed by Wicked and The Brutalist. But yes, it was definitely a mandate in favor of Emilia Perez, which has just been growing and growing. Ever since it premiered at Cannes and Netflix acquired it out of Cannes, and Netflix hasn't won a Best Picture yet, so this really could be their year. This could be their chance. A couple months ago, it seemed like the Oscar race was going to be like Nicole Kidman and Angelina Jolie and all of these really expected big A-list movie stars. And then the tides just changed. And yes, there ended up being a couple of first-time nominees, the first trans actress ever to get a nomination. And that would make history if Carla Sofia Gascon won for Emilia Perez. And Mikey Madison for Nora. So just all of these really great stories, Demi Moore for The Substance. And Academy voters really, really like those sort of stories and those narratives. And it's not that perhaps that Angelina and Nicole didn't wow them, but sometimes that's just how the math works out. One that was particularly surprising, a surprising snub, if you will, to me is Daniel Craig missing out for Queer. Once again, like a lot of these films that premiered at the Venice Film Festival, and we already talked about Nicole Kidman and Angelina Jolie and Maria and Baby Girl, but Queer just really seemed like a great raw departure for Daniel Craig. And for some reason he's missing out a bunch. I think he even missed out on a BAFTA nomination, and now he's not in the Oscar race. At one point Denzel Washington, it seemed like people really thought he was going to be nominated for Gladiator 2. He's also not in there. I think one of the more heartbreaking exclusions for at least a lot of the critics out there is Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. She's been nominated before, but it's widely considered one of the best performances of the year, as this sort of aggrieved woman named Pansy. And yeah, it's been sort of half on, half off for her, but she did not get an Oscar nomination. And I think the general thinking is that perhaps it was either going to be her or Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, which is silly that we have to pit these performances against each other, because that's also an incredible performance. And she gave that wonderful speech at the Golden Globes. But Fernanda did get in, and Marianne did not get in. And I mean, the supporting actress category was so wide open that there's like 15 snubs. I mean, there's Selena Gomez didn't make it in for Emilia Perez. So she's like, I mean, she must just feel like the one person who's left out of this big awards, celebration for that film. And Margaret Qualley also didn't make it in for The Substance, although Demi Moore did. So I think people really want to rally behind that. I don't know if it's a snub, but I think some people thought Pamela Anderson was going to get a nomination for The Last Showgirl. People are comparing it to Jennifer Lopez's turn in Hustlers, where there's so much goodwill and there's a lot of rallying behind it, and I think people really want that for both of those actresses, but it just didn't come through in the end with the Academy. People watching the nominations were probably struck by the fact that several films nominated for Best Picture did not include producers. They were producers to be named later. And what this sort of indicates is it's just a process that happens every year. Oftentimes it's all decided by the time Oscar nominations come out, but basically you have to qualify for a Producers Guild Award. And if you don't qualify for that, you have to sort of petition the Producers Guild and just go through a process to officially be able to have your name as a producer on the film. So it will be determined before the Oscars happen. There's not going to be some fight for who gets to go up and accept the prize.